up, guys? My name is Maya, and I go by Damn Homie. And today we have a very special guest, my co-host from Prison Talk,
What's poppin'? What's
Joseph
poppin'?
P. Langdon.
We in the building, girl.
Yeah, we in Cali.
In
We
Cali.
at Freeway Ricks right now.
Doing it big. You already know what it is. Doing it exceptionally big. You hear me? Got to give my homegirl big salutes, though. Damn homies in the building.
Okay, so what age did what was the first time you got arrested? How old were you?
I was probably about 11 years old. About 11 years old.
For what?
Stealing.
What'd you steal?
I stole, I stole some, like a whole box of honey buns. I snatched them and ran. Out the store, used to call it back in the day, snatch and grab.
Yeah.
Snatch the whole bag or the whole crate and watch the people run after you. Run down Picking Avenue. You know, I'm from Brooklyn, so we'll run down Picking. Belmont, and they caught me over there near Howard Projects. That was the first time I ever went to jail.
Yeah, a lot of people snatch and grab,
Yeah.
and we was doing that thing where you call a cab and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
you
yeah.
run out
Oh,
as soon as you're
whoa.
done.
If you're from New York City, you definitely did that. You hear me? It takes them 20 minutes to come to you anyway, maybe 2 hours to come to you. So they might as well get what they got coming, because that's how long they make you wait in New York for a damn cab. You hear me? Real talk.
Yeah. All right. So at what age did you get your prison sentence?
I was 19 years old.
How much time did you get?
Well, it's a combination of two different cases. My first charge was attempted murder, and they gave me 7 years. But while I was on bond for the attempted murder, I robbed a bank. I got on bond and I went and robbed the bank, and I got away with it, right? So I kept doing it, you know, and eventually they caught up with me and they gave me 58 years for armed bank robbery, entering the bank, stealing any money, kidnapping, you know, things of that nature. So I got 58 years for that. They suspended 43 of those years, left me with 15 years on that sentence. And mind you, I had the 7 years for the attempted murder. They suspended one of those, and they left me with 22 years to do.
How did they suspend it?
Well, they put it on the shelf, and for those who don't know what that means, so basically when you get out on probation, parole, and shit like that, it's crazy. You could do your whole sentence in prison, you know, max out your time and all that, like I did. I did every day, 22 years straight, and even getting out after maxing my time, they got me on probation, parole, and that's what they do to us. They put these leashes around your neck, you know.
Yeah, because they want you to fail. They want you to
Yeah.
violate it so you could go back to prison.
It's designed like that, you know. And
It's designed for you to fail.
designed for you to fail. Most of us fail, you know, at the end of the day.
Because what is it like as soon as you get out, they expect you to get a job?
Yeah, expect you to get a job, but the thing is about getting a job, you got to know how to work. Most of us don't have work ethic, you know what I'm saying? It's like we come from the hood, and those, for those who don't know what that means, that's poverty. That's like survival. So the average person is going to survive,
Yeah.
opposed to let me go get a job. So if you put somebody in jail for 20, 30 years, you can expect them to rise up from a job. It's pretty hard to do. So most people just go back to what they know.
Because it's called rehabilitation.
Yeah.
Do you feel like they really want to?
Well, this is the thing. They just give you time to think about what you did. So if you're in prison, you know, eventually you're going to wake up and you're going to start thinking about that shit you did. Like, damn, why I do that? You know, when you first go in there, you know, if you're guilty, I was guilty of everything they said I did. So I didn't really think too much into it. So I got older and I started thinking like, damn, what did I do to get in here, right? I started realizing that, right? So it's designed to at least break your spirit, and rehabilitation starts with yourself. You know what I'm saying? You got to do it. What I mean by that, you got to start thinking outside the box, thinking outside that cell, and visioning something else, you know?
Yeah, speaking of that, you're also an author.
Yeah.
And one of your books, From the Sandbox to the Cell Block.
Yeah.
So that's a good one. You definitely want to
Yeah,
read.
yeah.
It has a lot of crazy shit in there.
This is a real crazy book right
Yeah.
here.
And then the other book, I have that book.
Yeah. It's The Blueprints of Success. But let me
From
tell
the
you.
cage to the stage. This one I'm listening to on an audio book. This one I actually bought a copy.
Yeah. And she definitely represented for your bro. So let me tell you the difference between these books, though. So this book right here, I wrote this while I was actually in prison. I wrote this in prison, like doing 22 years. So I say about in my 17th year, I wrote this book, and I wanted to be open and honest, I wanted to be real. So I told things about myself that people probably wouldn't tell, right? You know, they want to make themselves look good. They don't want to tell you the dirty. I tell you about me stealing. I told about robbing. I told about gang banging. I talk about selling drugs. I talk about bank robberies. So that's like what I like to do back in the day. And, you know what I mean? I'm rehabilitated now. I'm a rehabilitated bank robber. But so this book right here just depicts all that real shit I was doing in there. I talk about the violent shit I was doing. I had to stab a lot of people because that's just the nature of prison. I don't say that with pride, but I say that with like, yo, either survive or get killed yourself.
Yeah.
So I tell these stories about, how I robbed the banks and why I did it, things like that. Um, this is a real good book for people out there who don't believe they can, overcome some shit. But this book right here, I've been out prison for 3 years, by the way, y'all, so I wrote this book right here out since I've been out, because a lot of people ask me like, how the hell you get up every day and want to do some shit? You know what I'm saying? So I said, okay, I'm gonna write a book and I'm gonna show you why I get up every day and do some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Blueprint to success.
Blueprint to success. And if you follow this shit, if you come from where we come from, when I say where we come from, about the penitentiary system or even the poverty system, because the projects is prison. So it's the same shit, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just showing you how I was able to stop thinking like a project person, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No doubt. Make sure you copy these books. These shit's official.
Definitely buy
Real
them
talk.
because there's some good books.
Facts.
So you're in prison.
Mhm.
What's the craziest shit you've seen?
Murders. Well, I remember one time I was at a prison called, I'm not sure, I've been to so many different prisons. Let me see which one this was.
Do you remember,
Graphic details.
for instance, my ex, he went to MDC, then Rikers, then Downstate, then Franklin Correctional was where he ended up doing his
Yeah, I remember every prison that I went to.
Well, name them.
Okay, so I started off at Southampton Reception Center, which is in Virginia. I went from there, and I was probably like 20 years old. Then I went to a prison called Lawrenceville. Lawrenceville was like a party. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I forgot I was in prison now. They said this is what happens. They got little tricks in there to make you forget you in that joint, right? So I went to Lawrenceville. I stayed there for about 5 months, and I wound up catching an assault. Me and my guy, one of my homies, his name was Red. Big shout outs to Red, East New York in the building. You already know. So yeah, but me and him wound up attacking somebody, involved in some gang shit. You know what I'm saying? And that happened, and they sent me from a level 3. They sent me from paradise, a prison, a gangster's paradise, right? I'm just going to say it like that. Not saying prison is fun. I'm just saying if you got to be there, that's the mindset of a young person, is make fun out of it, right? So I went from there to Red Onion State Prison. Now listen, y'all, Red Onion ain't no joke. Google that shit. Red Onion is a place where you're lucky to make it out of that joint.
Because people get killed
all the
by
time.
the COs.
COs, prisoners.
What do they be calling you shit?
Yeah, they call you niggas. So just you gotta understand, like, see, I'm transparent with this shit, right? Because if we talk about teaching somebody some real shit, I give it to them how it is, right? So in prison, like Red Onion, where I was there, that was like the 3rd prison I went to, I believe. And they call you names, they don't feed you sometimes, they kill you in there. But prisoners do it to them as well. It's not a one-way street or nothing like that. But I went from Red Onion, I stayed there for about 7 years, because like they wouldn't let me leave that prison because they put like what they call an STG on me, which is for those who don't know what that is, a security threat group. So they put that on me, and they wound up shipping me to a whole nother state.
I was gonna say, don't they usually just put you in a box, but they just transfer you?
So there's a lot of people that's going to see this video that know me in the penitentiary system, because I represent the prison system, hope, give these guys some hope, and the females too, right? Just a little hope. And so they actually sent me to a whole nother state, right? They sent me to Ohio, and they put an STG on me and said that basically we had too much influence in the prison. So they moved me to a whole nother state. After my 13th year, I was like in my 13th year in VA, and they sent me to Ohio. So from there, I probably was in like 9 different prisons in Ohio. So I did a total of 22 years in 14 different prisons. Yeah, 14 different prisons.
14 different prisons.
Yeah.
There's no way to let somebody do the whole 22 years in one?
Yeah, but
that's only if you behave?
Yeah, I didn't follow the rules in prison.
Who does?
Well, a lot of people follow the rules.
And what happens with them?
Well, they figure out a way to get out. They figure out a way to prosper, and some just may be scared to death, right? But the ones who aren't scared and, figure out a way to maneuver through that, they thinking differently. So it takes time to get there, to get there, you know what I mean? But for me, it took a long time for me to get there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It took probably at least 15 years for me to start being able to see shit clearly. So think about it. I was the type of person that wanted to stay on the street, so I needed a phone. Like, I needed to be a part of life, so I broke the rules because I wanted to feel like I was free. I couldn't live in prison like how they sit down. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How long did it take you to get used to sleeping on that bed?
Now that right there made my back hurt. Somebody go give me, what they call it, epidemic or something? Somebody go give me one of them shots because my back hurt right now, girl. You hear me? I'm going to tell you like this. Epidural. Give me one of them shits in the back. You hear me? Yeah, epidural, epidouble, whatever it is. You give me one right now, you hear me? Because that bed was hurting.
So you didn't sleep at all at first?
Well, let me tell you something about guilty and innocent people.
How do you even sleep?
Let me tell you something about guilty and innocent people, right? So imagine what I'm about to tell you, right? And anybody that's been in the county jail, prison, whatever, they understand what I'm about to say, right? So when you go in prison and you believe you're guilty, if you believe you're guilty, right? You're going to lay down. You're just going to sit there, go to sleep. I'm tired now, right? But if you know you didn't do nothing and you believe you didn't do nothing, you're going to make noise. You're going to kick on the door. Somebody give me the phone. I got to get out of here. So for me, I just laid down because I knew in my mind I was guilty. And I don't mean because they had charges against me. I just believed I was guilty. I accepted it. And that's not something we should do. We shouldn't accept that type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
It's like how people say, how can you sleep with yourself? I'm like a baby.
Yo, the crazy shit about it, like in prison, like when I was robbing banks and shit, like, I always thought like this, right? And I'm not encouraging crime, right? But I'm just showing you where my mind was at when I was a little bit younger. You talking about 25 years ago or some stuff, shit like that. So you got to understand, it was exciting to me to take money from a bank, right? Because I knew everybody else was robbing drug dealers or robbing people's house or, hurting people in the process and getting some money for a little bit of money, right? So I was looking at it like, yo, look, there's a lot of money in here and I know it is. All I got to do is get from there and out the door. So it became more like an adrenaline rush because I would blow the money.
Yeah.
I would blow it. So it wasn't like I was doing it to start another business or something. I was just doing it because I thought it was something. I wouldn't even say cool because it wasn't cool, but it was my way of getting what I had coming. So when I went to prison, I dealt with that shit, how you got to deal with it on my feet,
What was one thing that really impacted you while you were in prison?
Well, there's a lot of different things that impacted me while I was in prison. Good thing for me, I ain't lose nobody. So I did 22 years in prison. I haven't lost anybody vital in my life, like, a parent or sibling, and, people who pass away older.
We have so many friends who lost their mothers.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
I have a friend, big shout out to my brother Moshe, but he lost a lot in there. So the most impactful for me, I would tell you the truth, is when I started realizing I wanted to get out. And it impacted me in a way because I seen one of my friends get murdered in there, right? Like he got killed. His name is Corrupt. For anybody I know him from Tilden Projects in Brownsville, you already know the drill. Rest in peace, Corrupt. But I watched him, well, not literally watched him, but I seen the body and all that later on. He was dead. And this is somebody that I held dear to my heart. He was workout, athletic, and somebody that killed him was somebody basically like what you would consider homeless or something like that. Not trying to be funny, nothing like that, but there was somebody that was kind of like, they ain't had nothing going on in their life, right? So he wanted to take in his life. So that impacted me because I was young. And that made me start stabbing people more in prison.
Yeah.
Like I'm just saying, it fucks your mind up, right? And it made me start doing things in prison because I was afraid somebody would kill me, so I would get you first. And I wasn't doing it because I was a killer or, I was doing it because I knew the laws of the land, self-preservation. So that's how I did my time in there. And I just want to suggest to these young dudes out there, right, that ain't no guns in prison. You can't shoot nobody from distance. You got to get up on them close and personal and get busy with somebody, right? So if you're not built for that, you should rethink the shit you're doing, right? Because you're going to get caught, right? I don't know too many Michael Jacksons, and what I mean by that, smooth criminals. There's a couple, but I don't know too many, right? But yeah, so I just want to drop that. But prison is real. I had a lot of shit. I seen people die in there. Like I seen this one guy when I was at a prison called Toledo prison. Pretty cool prison. What I mean by cool, it wasn't locked down like that. It's prison, but I seen this dude climb up the stairs. I didn't know what he was doing. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning. And I'm sitting at the table drinking coffee, me and another guy, and I seen this dude climb up. We talking about all the way up there, like a light pole, and he climbed. I said, what this dude doing? I thought he was about to work out. I didn't know what the hell he was doing. He had a new workout plan he was doing. I didn't, is this the new Taibo or something? Like, what the fuck is it? So I see him tie a sheet around his neck. Now, I'm supposed to be like, CO, right? Yeah. But I said to myself, damn, it was so shocking, right? That I just sat there and just looked like, oh, my God. And what's crazy, when he tied the rope around his neck, right, It broke. He fell on the ground.
Did he die? Oh, shit.
He was mad as hell. And he went to the hole.
Because now y'all know I try to kill myself, so now y'all gonna put me in the mental
And they
shit.
put him in a hole.
Oh, did they put him in like one of those turtle suits?
Oh, they got him butt naked. They got
Oh.
they it's called a turtle suit, but you know, it's nothing tied around. You just put it over you, and your balls, your butt, and everything is hanging out. Yeah,
Wait,
it's
so you're in the
cold.
hole naked?
Yeah.
Women also? I don't know.
I don't know. I've never been there before.
I
ain't never been there before. I'm not sure.
Wait, they put you in there naked? What do you sleep on? Do you have a mat?
No.
Wait, so it's literally just cement and nakedness.
And nakedness. I actually never been a
In
part
the
of
dark.
that. I never been a part of that. I wasn't really into like being abused by the police, so I picked my battles. Right, so I got throw doodle on them. I'm just keeping it real. I've done it.
What are those called? A bomb?
Well, you know, we call it shit you down.
Yeah.
See, you about to get shitted down, right? There you go, right? So that's how I would get them.
How long you like save food for? Like,
About 7 days.
Yo,
Yeah, I'm telling you.
But that shit don't stink like crazy.
Yes, it
How do
does.
you prevent it from like?
You like use a bottle, twist the top.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you just let it sit. But that was I never put it on a prisoner. I never threw it on like somebody that was in prison.
Yeah.
Like a prisoner,
You
I
don't
never
get no
done
points for that.
Nah, I
You
never
get
done
points
that.
for police.
Yeah, the police did something. He took my food, didn't feed me, and I said, okay, I'm gonna get you back.
Ooh.
And you know, I'm behind the segregation door, so I took a number 2. For those who don't know what that is, that's a big, grimy one too. And then I, you know, peed in the bottle and I squirted the police with it. And honestly, right, did I feel any honor in that?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't feed me that day, so you know, I'm gonna give you the rest of the stuff that's in my stomach. You dig what I'm saying?
Why do they not feed people like as a form
That's
of
a
torture?
punishment. That's a punishment. You know, in Red Onion, especially in Red Onion State Prison, they do a lot of psychological torture shit to you. So they'll choose one gang over another gang, right? And what they'll do is they'll make this gang dislike you, right? Your gang. And then give them extra food and stuff like that. Might take the other gang guy's shoes and give it to them. So they know how to create an illusion and make people fight each other, right? So in this particular situation, you know, he took my food and put a fake tray in it. So it, on camera, it looked like he fed me.
What?
But it was nothing in the tray. So when I opened the tray, I'm like, he like, yeah. He felt like he did something. And so I did something back. I got him real good too. So that was one of the funniest things that I've done, I believe, because I did find it humorous that you could just like, I mean, I know it's animalistic, you know, and things like that, you know, playing with doodle
They
and
treat
stuff.
you like animals. You wouldn't
Yeah.
treat me like that? That's how I'm gonna act. The fuck?
Well, you know, like I said, I never threw it on a prisoner. You know what I'm saying? I actually threw it on 2 COs before, 2 corrections. One was
What was their reaction?
one,
I mean, what do you want it to be?
Listen.
Like, ooh.
one was whiter than Pillsbury Doughboy, right? And after I finished with her, she looked like a chocolate sundae.
Oh, it was a woman. That's the first
Well,
one?
no,
What
the
did she
first
do?
one was the guy. The reason why I
Oh.
was a woman the second time is because she got these other COs to punch on me.
Wow.
Yeah, because she said I wanted to go to rec, which, you know, they give you rec. You do where I was at around, you lock down 23 hours a day.
For those who don't know, rec is recreational,
Yeah.
which means
You
like
go
the
outside, you know,
Gym, right?
for an
Work
hour.
out.
Yeah, they let you work out, play basketball.
Okay,
So,
so
you
she
know,
didn't let you?
No, she didn't let me. So I kicked on the door and I actually flooded. What I mean by flooded, I stuck my sock inside the toilet bowl and I just kept pushing it until the whole tier was flooded with water. They don't like stuff like that. So I was pissing them off, right? So then she went and got the CO me and they take me to the shower. Next thing you know, I get hit in the head. Boop, and slammed and sprayed with mace. So I
Wow.
couldn't do nothing about it. I was really mad and she was the reason why it happened. So that was the second time I do a little bit of shit.
Was she ugly?
It wasn't a little bit, it was a lot.
Was she cute? Was she one of those CEOs that was getting fucked?
To be honest with you, I think she looked more pretty with the shit on her.
I
She
agree.
was more, you know, like, you know, turned me on a little bit when I seen that shit on her, right? You know what I mean? But I don't want to make this about a mockery or a joke. I just want to keep it real with you because these are the things you got to do in prison. Who the hell want to do this? Who in the hell want to have to shit in a bottle and pour it on somebody to get
But who
revenge?
wants to be starved to death? Nobody.
Well, touche. I guess we agree to agree. We're not going to agree to disagree, but you're right. So she got it, and I felt good about it, you know, at the time because I just felt like I got get back, you know, and that was what it was, you know.
Yeah.
You know, once again, when you go in these circumstances, prison is supposed to, at least make you a better version of yourself, right? You're sitting in jail 10, 15 years thinking about the shit you did, and if you can't figure it out by then you just that's on you.
How did you feel the day you got out?
Yo, it's crazy. I tell this story every time. My brother came and picked me up, Natural. Big shout outs to my brother, Natural. He came and picked me up my first day out, and I wanted a Popeye chicken sandwich so bad. That's the first thing I wanted. For real, like I wanted that more than some whatever JJ. I wanted me a Popeye chicken sandwich because I kept seeing it on commercial. This 22 years, y'all. I'm looking at all this smelly good shit, and I told my boss, I said, man, take me to Popeye. He said, Popeye. He said, what you want? I said, I want that chicken sandwich. At this time, everybody. Everybody. So he got me that chicken sandwich. That's the first thing I did, and then I drank a little bit of Hennessy, right? And then I just sat there and literally cried, actually. Not cried because I was like, I cried because I think I helped somebody get an injury that day. Yeah, I kind of hurt somebody that day, so I don't know if you want me to tell you, but.
Probably not.
Yeah, well, just say
if you want.
I broke somebody back. How about that?
Oh, okay. Wait, so you had a bitch like waiting for you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So what was that like? Like, was it
horrible?
Why?
Horrible experience for me. For those who are in prison and you get these relationships in prison, and you meet somebody in there and they become over these different things for you, right? And they do a lot of things for you. Just keep this in mind. They might be crazy.
I mean, yeah, we're all crazy.
Well, some of us have levels of craziness. For me, my phone got cloned. I didn't know nothing about people who do this. Don't let nobody buy you a phone. When you get out of jail, don't let your girlfriend buy your phone. She has the passcode. She has your email address. She set it up for
another phone connected to it, so any text message you get. Wow.
So she was stalking me, and one day I heard my phone ring and her phone ring. I'm
wow.
So I tell my friend that called me, I say, man, call twice, hang up, and do it again. And she picked this shit up. I'm going to, I said, what you doing? She's like, nothing. I said, I know you. Listen to my phone.
Were you cheating?
No.
So what the fuck was she doing? Oh, trying to see if you're going to do her dirty.
Yeah, men in prison got this bad stigma on them, right? That, we use a woman in prison, then we get out and go. That's not true, right? The average person that have a connection with you in prison and y'all rocking with each other, what people don't expect is who this person really is in society, right? Yeah. Or who that person really
Once
is.
Once you meet a person in real life, you might not
like them. You might not like them, and they're not trying to accept that. And it's like,
bitch, just because you did a bit with me, I'm not forced to be with you. It's like if we're not compatible.
No. Yeah, and that happened to me. She wound up trying to get me locked up.
How long after you got out?
Probably about 6 months.
Oh, wow.
6 months.
Were you on probation or parole?
Yeah, she called my parole officer on me, probation officer. This is the thing about it. Everything I do is stand up. I follow the rules. I know how to call my PO and say, I'm going over here, I'm going over there. I know how to do these things, right? So it didn't work. And they seen the shit I was doing since I've been out here. From the day I walked out, I was trying to create some type of noise around these kids in the hood, like where I come from, because like most dudes just, they'll tell you what not to do, right? Don't do this, don't do that, but they won't show you nothing else, right? How to do something different. So if I tell you to stop smoking cigarettes, that means you're supposed to replace that shit with something good. Go work out, eat better, do something right. So when you tell somebody not to do something bad, you got to at least show them how to do something good. Yeah. So that's all I've been trying to do. So they seen that shit and was like, nah, we ain't gonna go for it. But I was lucky. Everybody does it.
If you would have went back, how long would you have done?
Well, so for me, like I said, I got 43 years over my head right now, right? So that is something that, you can get that type of time back. They could put me in prison for that long, right? But I would have to commit like a crime or something like that. So just for them saying, hey, he did this or he did that, and there's no crime involved, I really wouldn't go to jail that long. Jail is jail, but I wouldn't go that long. But this is the thing I'm telling you about, who wants to go back?
No.
So, another thing I want to tell these young dudes out here, you can actually pay your way off probation, parole. A lot of people don't know about this shit, y'all. You can actually pay your way off probation and parole. So, example, if you out here doing the right thing or what they consider the right thing, You can call your court and say, hey, how much costs do I owe? How much fines do I owe? They'll tell you. You pay them fines off. Then you can get released from parole or probation, right? So yeah, that's how that goes.
How do they want you to pay your fines off when it's hard to even get a job as a felon?
Well, I really wouldn't say it's hard to get a job because I had like 10 jobs since I've been out here.
Yeah,
I'm actually a nurse aide right now.
yeah,
That's something that probably people probably couldn't even, think I could be able to do. So it's not about that. I had mad jobs.
yeah.
I worked the whole time I've been out. So to fund my dream, what was my dream? So I don't have to work no more. So I knew and understand that I had to do these things. I had to get in the field because I had to recreate my story. Because at this time, my story wasn't really shit.
Yeah.
Just keeping it real. I was nothing but a drug dealer, a gangbang, and a bank robber. That's it. So, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm different. You know what I'm saying? And I give a little credit to the prison. What I mean by that, shit, when you got nothing but time to sit there and do something for yourself, you can take advantage of it. And that's what happened with me. That's how that goes.
Yeah. So, well, how old were you again when the first time you got arrested?
11.
11?
11 years old.
So right now, an 11-year-old kid comes to you and goes, yo, you're mad cool. I want to be just like you. Like, I want to rob banks.
Mhm.
Like, I want to, you know what I mean? Be a gangster. Like,
Mhm.
what would you tell him?
To be honest with you, there's two things I would tell the individuals. Now, we're talking about an 11-year-old, right? So it's pretty hard to explain shit to an 11-year-old, right? They don't really understand what you're saying, right? So if I sit here and say, hey, you shouldn't do that, rob a bank, you go to prison like me, that's a lot of information that he has to. So I wouldn't do it like that. So what I would say is like, hey, look, I have a thing that I do. I have a picture of me when I first went to jail. Real young face, no hair, none of that. And then I have a picture when I walked out. So I show people that.
Yeah.
Before and after, you know how a person lose all his weight and you see him again. So before I was very young, handsome, still handsome now, but very young. And now I'm older, and if you can't see how long the gap is in my lifespan, right? This young dude, and I ain't get out to this time, we're talking about decades, I really can't give it to him no other kind of way because people are visual.
So since you were 19 when you got sentenced to 54
58 years.
58 years, what would you tell a 19-year-old that's kind of going in the same path as you, but you could tell he's not about that life?
Yo. So for me, right, I would tell any person, right, especially somebody that is in my same shoes, right, I would let them know, like, prison is a serious thing. But it's not like you can't survive it. So I don't want to put this scary shit on prison, like, like this. If that was the case, people wouldn't go back and forth, right? But I will let you know this, that like, prison takes away everything from you. Your family, your freedom. You can't do what you want to do. You got to hide to do what you want to do. And you got to think you might not ever make it out of this joint. You're talking about 10, 20 years. There's a chance you might not make it out. Yeah, for many reasons. Poor health. They don't give you shit in there. You get sick, you're dead. They don't care. You get stabbed. You just don't wake up in the morning. So look at all of that shit right there that you just missed out on because you didn't think 2 times before you did something. So I would tell them, look, think before you move. And the same type of money I was making robbing banks, which was pretty decent money. It was pretty decent money, but that shit wasn't worth the time that I spent in prison. It's only pretty decent money when I was on the street spending the shit. You see? But when I got in prison, that shit wasn't nothing no more. You got to pay for lawyers. In my case, I had 2 attorneys. I had to have a DNA attorney and I had to have a criminal attorney. They sold me out. Honestly, to tell you a funny story, you 19-year-olds out there, my lawyer came to me and said, I got a deal for you. I got a plea bargain. And for those who don't know what a plea bargain is, they cancel your show. What I mean by that, they come to you with, you want 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? Just take the time when we leave you alone. Just go to do the time. We don't, So my lawyer said, I could get you 10 years. I'm like, damn, man, nah, man. Mind you, it was 4 people in my crime, but only 2 of us went to prison. The other 2 people never went to prison. They never even was charged with it, right? So just me and my other guy, right? He's actually out right now too. And he got like 7 or 8 years at the time or some shit, like the deal they try to give him. but he didn't take it either. So I told my lawyer when he came back with 20 years, right? I said, man, I thought you was gonna do half the time for me, right? I thought you was gonna, the way you made it, you said I was only gonna get this. Now you tell me I'm gonna get this. Are you gonna do half the time for me? So keep this in mind. Put you in prison, only you can do the time. You're the one stuck. You're the one in the jam. You're the one got to call your mother now for some money, or your brother or your girlfriend. So just remove yourself from that shit now before it's too late. Because the same money I was making robbing banks, like I said, wasn't even worth the time. I could have made that in 1 year working a job.
Yeah.
The right job. That had to be the right job.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying? No doubt.
But, damn, thank you so much.
No doubt.
We're gonna continue this conversation on Prison Talk.
Present talk in the building. You already know what it is. Big shout outs to Hocus. Big shout outs to Damn Homie. Big shout out to World. My man,
Jay Burton.
No, not him. I'm talking about my man World. My man World. He gonna be watching too. Big shout outs to my man World, and big shout outs to Jay Burton. Big shout outs to Steve, Rick Ross, Lorenzo, Damn Homie. You know, it is what it is.